Hey everyone, welcome back to the Shift Podcast. This is where inspiration meets leaders, mentors, and the everyday person who wants to inspire people. Bring on guests on the show here that will inspire us, bring us insight, and give us practical application of how you can create your own shift. So this week with me, I'm excited to have Jack Ashley with me, amazing guy, business owner, and a friend of mine as well. So we're going to journey, hear his story. But before I get into him today and get into what he's going to say, I want to read this. This is what he was saying. He said about behind every success story, there is a battle, but someone who never gave up on you. I fought my own mental health struggles for years, often feeling lost and alone. Speaking out changed my life. Finding my passion gave me direction, but having a supportive partner beside me, someone who believed in me even when I doubted myself, gave me the strength to truly move forward. Today, I'm proud to be building a business, raising a family, and building a life I once only dreamed of. If you're struggling, please know you're not alone. You don't have to do it alone. The right people will lift you when you can't lift yourself, and better days are always ahead. So, without further ado, Jack Ashley, my guy. Welcome to the show, bro,
Appreciate
man.
it.
Welcome to the show. Like we always say about on the show, that signature question, what does the shift means to you? If I ask you, what does the shift means to you? How important is the shift for you?
So the shift was important to me because I was struggling with mental health, and it just, I had to do something about it, to be honest. Being negative, I was always negative, and just it was affecting other people, affecting my family, not only affecting me, and it had to change. But yeah, like I said, I wouldn't have done it without my partner. She said, it's got to change.
Yeah.
You've got to get yourself right for you and for your family. So
good, so good. Give us a little bit of just a background of who's Jack Ashley. How would you describe, how do you want people to know who you are?
So growing up, I wasn't a lover of school. I was a typical teenager. Just typical teenage boy. Yeah. But I come to the realisation, even at coming to the end of school, I've got to do something. I've got to change, turn my life around and find. So I went to college, found a trade, really enjoyed it. And since then, that's all I've ever done. Done my apprenticeship and then set up a company around 6 years ago. But again, I wouldn't have done it without the support of other people around me.
Yeah. Because we met, isn't it? We met when we were in school. In fact, shout out to Lanishan High School, Mrs. Parry and the leadership team there. We met in school when, and this is just the crazy thing because full circle, and you guys know that I had Hefty, the music producer, on the show. We're actually recording in the studio, and Jack and Hefty were in the same year group, right?
Yeah, we were in the same class as well for some lessons. Yeah.
Oh, it's just ridiculous.
It's nice to see other people doing well as well that I went to school with.
Yeah.
I like to see people doing well.
Yeah, definitely. So, because in school at that time, when I was there, mentoring these guys, and I saw you around, I was like, to see where you are today and how you've progressed, and we're going to get into like what made that shift happen for you. For me personally, I want to just take the time first to say, man, I'm proud of you. From that student, that young person in school to where you are today, that in itself is already a stepping stone that I believe that it will help other people. So in school, in terms of school, what was it that you didn't like about school? Like,
just wasn't for me. Didn't like school whatsoever. Didn't want to be there.
Is it because you were more like tradey, kind of hands-on?
Always been hands-on, and it's just didn't enjoy school one bit. One pen and paper's not my thing.
Okay.
I'd rather be out and doing other things.
Yeah, but even in that, you could. I don't like school, so it didn't mean that you didn't like education, isn't it? It's the style of, because then you went to college.
To college, yeah. So on the fact that I went to college and that's what I enjoyed. I didn't enjoy school because I'm very good at maths and stuff like that. So it wasn't my interest.
Yeah. Oh. So in terms of like you're saying the mental health, you want people to kind of like capture the importance of mental health. Can you describe the lowest point in your journey and what helped you to hold on?
So for me, it was like I say, I was just always a negative person. I was always doubted myself.
Oh.
But it got to the point where I just kept it all to myself, and it would build up, and then I'd have a breakdown. And it was, like I say, affecting everyone around me. And then it come to the point where I thought, I've got to sort this out. And my partner, Rhiannon, said, you know, I need to help you. And she said, let's do it together, you're not alone.
Wow.
And that's what made me realise, so going to the doctors, doing some counselling. But I've always kept it quiet. No, you know, I've never told anyone.
Yeah.
But then opening up to people and telling people, it made life a difference.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't just keeping it to myself. Could speak to 4 people or 10 people, but all those different people would have something different to say, and some would listen, some would judge. You know, like I said, it's a big thing in men under 30. People don't show it because they think they're weak and people are going to judge. But you're not weak. It needs to be normalised to if you're struggling. You know, life's hard. It's not easy for anyone.
Yeah.
But you've got to talk about your feelings if you're struggling.
Yeah. Man, like you said, always a negative person. That's when you grew up. What shifted? And I know you said that you spoke out. Your partner, shout out to her. Much respect, much love to you. And all of us need those types of people creating safe spaces
100%.
for us, non-judgmental spaces. Do you know what I mean? And so just knowing how she has really helped you and journeyed, that's what all of us need. And I think that in the society, like you were saying earlier, that when we spoke off air, it's not normalized. And it's kind of crazy that the world we're living in is already hard.
Yeah, it's and like I say, it's not normalised, and there's so many people that struggle. You know, I know people that have struggled so bad with their mental health, they've taken their own lives, and it's people look at it and think, oh, you say you've got mental health, get up and get on with it. Yeah. Which, don't get me wrong, I was getting up and going to work every day, but I was waking up in a negative mindset, going to work thinking, oh, I'm dreading today already. It's going to take forever, something's going to go wrong. And I just thought, I've got to stop thinking the negative, I've got to be positive. Start your day off positive, it's going to be positive.
Yeah. That is, but then also you were saying about, you know, your kids also came.
Yeah, and that was the biggest change in my life, was having my children. Wouldn't change it for the world. That's what made me who I am today. You know, they look up to me like I'm a superhero, so I know I've got to go out, I've got to provide, make sure they're safe.
Man, that is just encouraging, isn't it? Because from moving from negative to actually, it's for somebody out there who's kind of like listening to you, what would you say if somebody's negative in terms of their mindset and speaking negativity over themselves? How can you help them just to shift that to get them to the space where you are now?
For me, it's a lot of talking and opening up, finding a hobby, finding something you enjoy, and trying to take your mind away from. The trouble is, this day and age is everyone compares themselves to everyone else and think, you know, I still do it now. I still doubt myself when I say, oh, I should be doing better, or I should be here by now. But then when I take a step back, I actually realise I'm living in the dream that I was dreaming of as a 16-year-old boy. Wanted to have a family, wanted to have my own van, wanted to have my own company.
Come on.
So when I sit back, I'm like, I'm actually where I wanted to be. Yeah, I'm going to go further, but take each day as it comes.
100%. I always take that analogy. If you watch football, the interviews of the coaches, then they would ask them like, you can win the league, you know, maybe there's 10 games left. They will always say, we take one game at a time.
One step at a time.
One step at a time, because we can get so caught up in trying to go so far ahead of ourselves that we actually forget to celebrate where we are from where we came from, you know. And it's so amazing that all of us want to succeed. I want to have a bigger podcast studio, but I'm grateful that I didn't have a place like this before. So I'm grateful, but also I am thinking bigger, but in small doses, in trying to get us to where we need to be. And this is the thing for you about, didn't like school. You stepped back because of the dream that you have. You're living in a dream. And I think sometimes we forget. I always say to people, we forget to celebrate what we have. And because we think when you get like maybe 3-4 other vans, are you going to be happy then? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Or are you going to have the same energy for those 4 vans like you have with this one?
No, I do now.
Yeah, you do now. And so it is that sort of thing that help our mental well-being, mental health is so important. Did you realize that speaking out could be a source of strength, not shame?
After a while, yes. At first, thought, no, you know, I don't want to speak. I'm embarrassed. I don't want to speak to anyone. Again, people will see me. People may judge. People may say I'm weak.
Yeah.
But then speaking out to numerous people it helps a lot.
Yeah.
Because you can just, and especially, you know, I went to some counselling and I didn't know the woman.
Yeah.
So it was just offloaded. She sat and listened. Because she didn't know me, she didn't judge, so it was just offloaded, took it in. So it's definitely, if you're struggling, you've got to speak to someone.
Exactly. And for me as a life coach as well, counselors, therapists, coaches, mentors, is creating that safe space, non-judgmental, which means you come into the space, somebody is not we're not thinking any judgment. We're thinking of holding that space for you so that you can hear your own thoughts and your thoughts being reflected back to you and say, oh, I didn't see it like that. You know what I mean? And so it's a liberating thing where when we speak out and we empower people, and I know people will be blessed by you today because you're speaking into somebody maybe sitting in a room or at a workplace or wherever they find themselves today that can say, if he can do it, then I can do it as well. Yeah. So how did finding your passion help guiding you through the dark times, you know, that passion that you have for what you do now? How did it help you navigate through those dark times?
It's just enjoy what I'm doing. And like I say, looking after a family was the most important thing.
Yeah.
You've got to get up, even though the struggle was there, is get up and get it done.
Yeah.
Even though today's going to be a struggle, and that was my mindset. Every day was a struggle.
Yeah.
But sometimes you've got no choice. And going back just to waking up in a positive mindset will change anyone's day.
Yeah. You said earlier as well, was profound. You said that shift there for you was, even though you woke up negative, seeing your kids in the morning and the smiles on their faces, and they wake up happy to see you. They don't wake up with, oh my days.
Yeah, they wake up with, we can see mum and dad, and that's the best thing in the world to them, and they're our heroes. So I wake up, see the kids, right, I'm going to work, I'm doing it for you guys and everything else. Yeah,
it's amazing because how you see in them what you conquered.
Yeah.
They could have been negative because you helped yourself, and it's kind of like that jump cables, you know, and you just ignite other people. So seeing how they are, because what I love about kids, they got no cares in the world. The mortgage, we're going on holiday, all those, they don't have none of that stuff.
They just come along.
They just come. They just come. They just enjoy, and it's you and your partner are creating that for them. So that's the shift. You shifted because kids can pick up, right? They can pick up.
Yeah, they sense the energy and everything else that's happening, and so I said it's got to change. And same with my partner.
Yeah.
You know, she's been through a lot herself, but she's really strong and she's always supported me no matter what, which I couldn't ask for more than that.
Yeah.
It's you know, if I was on my own, no children and single, you know, I don't think I'd be sat by here talking about it. I don't think I'd be running a business. Life's hard.
Yeah, exactly. We have to navigate through that, you know, and because you were talking about her, you know, the question here is, tell me about someone who never gave up on you, even when you wanted to give up on yourself. So I don't know, parents or whoever, but even like your partner, can you think of that person, like, even though you wanted to give up, they kept, you know, tell me more about their mindset.
So yeah, it would be my partner, Rhiannon. She's always pushed me, always lifted me up.
Yeah.
You know, always could see when I needed help, and
Yeah.
it was always that one step behind me,
Come
in
on.
front of me or behind me,
Yeah.
and pushing me forward to do better.
How does that feel, bro?
Amazing, amazing, yeah.
Gee.
It's always good to have supportive people around you, whether it's your parents, which my parents have always been supportive,
Yeah.
sister, you know, any family member. It's
Yeah.
always good to speak out and let them support, because sometimes you get so
Ah,
down in
let them
yourself,
support.
is you push everyone away
Wow.
and you just want to be left alone, but they just want to help you.
You said something profound there. You said, let them help you. Isn't it? Because sometimes the help is there.
Is there, yeah, but you don't accept it.
Oh, let them help you. I saw on, you know, like lots of love been showed to you, you know, on Facebook and Instagram, and people really, you could hear people being so proud of you. And I mean, like your mum as well. It's always a different, isn't it? Like when your mum or your dad or your partner is proud of you, it's a different kind of pride than your neighbor. I said,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
now Jack, keep going. You know what I mean? And so I saw that, and I was kind of like really touched, you know, by your mum, where she like, you know, just kind of bigging you up and actually seeing that how you've progressed. What is it like for her?
Yeah, she's one of my biggest supporters. You know, she's tells me a lot how far I've come.
Yeah,
See, from being a teenager again to getting into trouble and stuff. You
Yeah.
know, we all have our moments and our days, but she's always been there when I've needed her.
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
she's bigs me up to everyone she speaks to. and
I could read, I could see that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So she is a really big support.
Yeah. Man, well done, man. That's always the concept that I have, you know, I know you've seen it as well, like Ubuntu is I am because we are. And so when you said let them help you, it's kind of like it just triggered my brain like that is what it is, because your mum who raised you saw the potential and the ability and the capacity in you way before you saw it.
Yeah.
And is that patience of just waiting, it will happen, it will happen, it will happen, it will happen. And now eventually it has happened and it's continuing to happen, which means now it becomes a mindset that is not negative, but there is a perspective shift there for you. Perspective shift. So what's one thing you believed about yourself back then that turned out to be completely untrue?
Good question. I didn't think I'd make anything of myself, if I'm completely honest.
Yeah.
Like I say, if I didn't meet my partner and have children and grow a family,
Yeah.
I think it'd be a complete different story.
Wow.
And a lot of other people would probably say that.
Is
and,
it?
you know, a lot of people that know me from growing up, and a lot of people doubted me and thought, yeah, he's,
Yeah.
you know. But I turned it around and for the best. And
Yeah.
anyone can do the same. It's just got to have that dedication. And
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I'll read that again, because like, what's one thing you believed about yourself back then that turned out to be completely untrue? Like you were saying there, it's kind of weird because sometimes we make vows to ourselves because of just whatever, because now it's untrue.
yeah.
You got your business, got an amazing family, you got support, you speak up, you come here today, even to the point that I've seen you in a different light. You know, when I started off in Lanishan High School, you came to speak to young boys who actually are in a situation where you were.
Yeah.
You come back and you empower people, you help people. So it's kind of like crazy that even though you thought you weren't going to make it, you still had a plan. Because you said, one day I'm going to have my own business. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like, one day I'm going to have my own business. But because something just shifted, because you already had that desire to become a business, it's just the perspective that needs to shift. You know what I mean? So your partner comes, your mom has told you all these things that you know now. How many times didn't she tell you about the stuff that you have now? She told you, right?
Yeah.
She reminded you constantly. Now you've become that. So everybody's like, because it's always been in him. But we make vows sometimes to ourselves by saying, I'm not going to make it, because we compare. We're looking at Johnny, or we look at James, and we're trying to aspire to be like them.
Yeah.
But yet, there's nobody like you.
No, like I always say, everyone's in their own lane.
Yeah.
You've got to remember, be in your own lane, do your own thing.
Yeah.
and like I say, everyone compares to other people. Oh, this guy's doing better. Why aren't I there? How, you know? But you've got to sit back and look where you are and actually appreciate what you've made and achieved. And that was always my biggest thing. Still is now. I think, oh, I should be doing more. I should be doing this. And then I step back and think, well, actually, this is what I dreamed of when I was a youngster, and I've reached that goal. So why can't I reach the next goal?
Yeah. Yeah, and just a question that came to my mind is like, because I see you guys, you and your family on Facebook and all of that, right? When you look at your pictures now with your family, from the guy who didn't like school, when you see those pictures, what kind of emotions come up from the time, like this is who you were, to where you are now? Those pictures, when you look at those pictures,
just fills me with happiness, and I'm so proud. It's, like I said, I wouldn't change it for the world.
My guy. What does success mean to you today compared to what it meant before the shift?
Good question. Ask me again.
What does success mean to you today compared to what it meant before you shifted your mindset or what you've been through? What was success like then and now?
Hard question.
Would you say that you are successful now?
I'd say I am, but I've still got a long way to go. And again, that's chasing dreams and thinking, I think I am successful and I've done well. I think I've done very well. But I've still got a long way to go. I'm not finished yet.
My guy. What is next for, see that you're talking about success in the future, what would that look like for you moving forward?
Hopefully good, but who knows? Take every day as it comes. And How do you show up now for others who are struggling the way you once did? How do you show up for people? I'm always there to listen, always there, you know, I'm a phone call away, or can meet up. If any of my friends are struggling, or anyone can come to me. And that was the biggest reason I come here today, is to just show that you're not alone. And you're not weak for speaking up. It needs to be normalised, and there's help out there.
100%, bro. And even when you send me the bio, right, I was thinking, that's why I asked you, like, what is it that you'd like to convey? And that's the crazy thing, because all of us are struggling, but like you're saying, you still had to get up because for the sake of your kids and family, and so you have that resilience of fighting. I didn't even know that you've been through what you've been through, because sometimes we just see on Instagram or Facebook saying that the guy's doing well. Then we don't ask.
It's invisible. Funny enough, after it was posted on Facebook and you shared the link and stuff, someone I know sent me a message and said, you know, I didn't even know you struggled with mental health. And he said, I'm exactly the same.
Wow.
And we're both looking at each other. We speak a lot and see each other, and we were both blind to it. And he said, you know, if you ever want to pop in, have a cuppa and stuff. And that's, you know, like, it is invisible. You could see someone, people say, oh, you're doing really well. Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm not doing bad. But what's happening inside is invisible to everyone else. So you could be the happiest person in the room, but really inside you're hurting. You're
right. I was saying, in fact, I'm going to do a video soon about, people always ask, how are you doing? But we should be asking, how are you being? Where the being is the internal, the doing is always, we've seen you being successful out there. But internally, the being, the emotions, the struggle, the wrestling that's happening internally, we look outside and says, oh, he's doing great. And like you were saying, is the invisible, and is having, I've got people in South Africa, I always say, got friends for 20, 30, 20, 25 years. Every day I'm speaking to them. And I've had friends as well. Now I've heard that some friends, they divorce or they split with their partners. And one part of me is like, man, I'm sad for that, because you could have let me help.
Yeah,
do you know
yeah.
what I mean? And whatever help is, do you know what I mean? That it could have been preventative in that
Yeah, yeah,
sense.
of course.
You know, so it's not just the person who's struggling, but it's also is the environment right for that person to speak? Do you know what I mean? And so I've got people in Cape Town that I know that I'm in a foreign country. I came here 18 years ago. I didn't know anybody.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like I'm not lost. I've given up everything to come here to empower and bless people and bring the best out of them. I can't do that without having a safe space over there. You know what I mean? And so the two of you, like you said, your friend, the two of you would sit now together, and it's kind of like one has now become two, and you know, and it becomes, and it's this. That's how we normalize it.
And yeah, people need to know it's normal. You know, it's you see it with celebrities that, you know, they've got all the money in the world, and deep down, most of them are depressed, and you see the stories of them, and it's just the biggest thing is talking, opening up. You know, it's all well and good going to the doctors, having medication, doing counselling and stuff like that, but talking to someone is, I think that helps the most.
Yeah. Earlier you said about, you know, we don't need to mention the name, but I don't know, you know, if it's okay, about a friend of yours who went through what he went through, took his own life.
Yeah.
Because of, did he struggle with mental health as well?
Struggled with mental health, yeah. Had a partner, obviously had supportive family, parents and whatever else, but obviously felt himself that he struggled so much, took himself away, and took his own life.
Yeah.
Same age as me, but that's, you know, it happens a lot.
Yeah, it does,
especially in men under 30. I think it is a big thing.
Yeah. But now you've shifted that. Coming on here, going to be all different platforms. You know, people across the world will be like, you could have kept it to yourself and said, listen, I'm all good now.
Yeah.
Me, my partner, you help me, mum, you know, all the people around. I'm just going to get in my van and work hard. The fact that you are an advocate now.
Yeah, if I can help others, because I know how it feels to be in a dark place, and it's not a nice experience. So if I can help others, I'm always there. I'm always open for a chat. When I go and get a coffee, whatever, I'll always sit and listen, and I'll never judge, because I know what it feels like to be judged. So, but that is the biggest thing.
And that's the thing, like I told you earlier, well, I didn't know about mental health when I first came to the UK. In South Africa, we've never heard about it, you know what I mean? Because the struggle is real. And so you just got to get on with it.
Yeah.
But also, where are you going? You can't just get on with it. You got to know where you're going as well. So when I came here, that was the thing where I felt like a lot of people were like ashamed to talk about it. Where I'm like, but bro, everybody can see you struggling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody can see you struggling, but you still want to keep that in. The fact that I'm doing what I'm doing is once upon a time exactly the same, you know, where like you, I'm doing all of this, I'm empowering people, I'm empowering myself to help people, because I know what it feels to be in a dark place.
Yeah.
You know, you are in such a dark place that people that know you wouldn't even recognize you. Like how you show up and you think, is this really me? Like, you know what I mean? And instead of taking it as a negative, is how are you going to make a stepping stone out of that? So that's what you came to do here today. So just a couple of questions. What do you wish somebody had told you? What message do you have for someone listening or watching right now who feels completely alone? What would your message be for them?
You're never alone. Never alone. There's always someone you can reach out to. Like I say, if it's someone you don't know, could be friends, could be family, there's always someone who will be there to support you. Yeah.
Always somebody there to support you. Just to finish off with, you know, talking about your business now, how you've progressed, also talking about your family in terms of, I want people to kind of capture as well what that shift did for you. Finishing with some positive encouragement. Like I said again, I'm proud of you, the fact that you are where you are today.
Thank you.
And I am proud of you that when you come back here, you're going to continue empowering people. But now you're a business owner, partner, family. What's your message for people out there that they can get to where you are? How do you feel where you are right now?
Set your goals and don't give up until you achieve them. And just do it in a positive way.
Yeah. Man, bro, when I feel like that, I feel I want to scream. I want to scream. I want to scream just shouts of joy, bro, because it's just crazy. When we were in school, what was the year? Is it 2012? 2013?
Around then, yeah, 2012.
Yeah, 2012.
Feels like a lifetime ago.
It feels like a lifetime. I'm still working in Lanishan High School doing the same thing. I would love you to come and share with some of these young people.
Yeah, definitely.
And this is the thing again, it's like all of us in the community, we're trying to help the next generation. Let us help you. And I know that people out there today were inspired, but also if people want to talk to you, what's your social media platforms, your the address where people can actually connect with you?
So on Facebook, I've seen personal page Jack Ashley, or feel free, you can contact my business page, which is JA Plumbing and Heating. You know, like I say, I'm always there. My number's out there. If it's not work related, I'll answer and I'll sit there and listen.
Oh man, bro, proud of you, man. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm really proud of you, bro.
Thanks for having me.
And the next one. So guys, thank you so much for once again another inspirational time here, segment with Jack Ashley. And like I said, man, if you're struggling, like you said, you are not alone. Get the right people around you, speak about it, and you know what? There's success stories in you, and it's just time that you need to bring that out, speak to the right people, and like they say, the world is your oyster. And guys, thank you so much for joining again. Catch you on the next one. This is The Shift. Peace.